So when you first start full-time RVing, there's a lot of apps and memberships and things that they tell you need to get. The one that has stood the test of time for us, and we've used this for the almost 2 years that we've been on the road for planning every single trip, for researching campgrounds and figuring out our routes. Everything is done through RV Life, specifically the RV Trip Wizard. There's a number of things that are included with the RV Life Pro, which is the RV Safe GPS, the RV Life Trip Wizard, and RV Life Maintenance. I haven't used that. I track that separately, but that's a great thing that's included here. We also don't use the GPS capabilities. We have a separate one for that, but the Trip Wizard and reviews alone are worth the membership cost. I wanted to go over how I plan a trip. The first thing that you need to decide is, where are you going to go? In 2023, we are going to go from Florida, where we winter, up to Michigan. And so I want to hit all of the states we didn't hit up to this point. So if you look here, we're going to come up from Florida. We'll hit Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, and still need to figure out what we're going to do coming back down, but likely it'll be Wisconsin, Illinois, Missouri, Arkansas, Mississippi. Maybe we'll pop over to some states, but we'll definitely go up here and come down here. But we'll get as many as we can for this trip. So before I actually plan my route, I want to research the campgrounds. I like to do the 1,000 Trails campgrounds as our primary campgrounds that we stay at because we've already paid for the membership. So I pull up my map now, and I start by just going down the list of where we're going to be. Now, I've already reviewed a number of those campgrounds, so we don't need to worry about that. I don't think we're going to make it this far west in next summer, so we'll go ahead and turn that layer off. And the Northeast, again, I've already researched all of those. All right, so here are the Midwest 1,000 Trails campgrounds, and we're just gonna use RV Life to look at the reviews. First one we have here is Wilmington RV Resort. So I'll just copy the name, and then I'll open up RV Life to look at the campground reviews. The first one we want to look at is Wilmington RV Resort. And what I look for is good internet connection, full hookups, and then I'll look at the pictures. So we'll go down to the reviews and we'll just start reading through. So I'm looking for things like they've got a bigger rig. I'm looking at full hookups, and then if they have anything about internet. So it does say here there's a few without sewer. So that's just something I'll have to keep in mind. And again, just looking through, it's looking good. Just short little one. This one does say the roads need some updates, so that's something just to keep in mind. Wi-Fi did not work well at the lodge, but we don't use the Wi-Fi typically. After I've done some reviews, I'll come back to my 1,000 Trails map, and I'll just add in some notes here. So I'll just say good internet and full hookups. And then I'll change the color to purple. My color coding here is purple is a good one. Yellow is, it's okay. You'll see my notes here. Some reviews have poor internet, but somebody said it was good with the T-Mobile hotspot. So it's one that it was kind of on the line. But the purple ones are definitely ones that I would want to stay at. All right, so we've batched all of our reviews of the Thousand Trails campgrounds in the area that I want to go to. So what I'll do is I'll just add in those campgrounds on the way up into RV Trip Wizard. So I'll copy the details for Hidden Cove RV Resort. And then I'll copy over this information and just keep moving up to add in the different parks. So for different sets of trips, I like to create a whole trip. I'll go for about 10 stops or so. Since we are doing this for next summer, I'm going to call it Summer 2023. You can put your start date. We are not going to do that today. Now go ahead and create the trip. Start from Orlando RV Resort. I spend a lot of time there. All right. And then it creates the trip for you. Now you can also put these settings in other places and it automatically will pull those. So we have our height, our length, our weight, if we're carrying propane, the type of fuel that we have, our fuel capacity, and our economy, things like that, which also helps planning the trip to know when you need to fuel up. You can also put in a couple of your preferences, such as avoiding tolls, highways, ferries, tunnels, unpaved roads, and different things like that. But again, you can set all of this up in your main profile settings. But we're going to go ahead and finish this so we can start planning. Okay, now that we have researched the campgrounds, I want to go ahead and put them in to the Trip Wizard. We're just going to move up. So the first one is Hidden Cove RV Resort, and that is in Alabama. And we're just going to click on Add to Trip. Now, if you know how long you're going to stay at a place, you can put that in. For right now, I think I'm just going to I'll do 14 days for each of these trips that we're adding in. So it takes just a second to put in the information, and you see it's a 650-mile drive from Orlando, 10 hours, 41 minutes. Again, that is with our settings of about how fast we drive and all of those different things. Now, one thing that I like to do is I edit the name to have TT at the beginning. So that tells me that is a Thousand Trails campground. And if you're a Thousand Trails member, you know there's different booking windows. I will go back through this trip and add in some of the Trails collection. But since I can't book those until later, I like to put in my Thousand Trails first. So our first one was in Alabama, and just going down the list, Tennessee didn't really hit what we look for in a campground. So we're going to go ahead and just add in the Diamond Caverns. And again, just add to the trip. Now, I do know I want to spend some time here, so I'm going to go ahead and give that 21 days. And again, we'll put in our TT for Thousand Trails. Now, if I had my date set, I could lock it in right here, and it would be in the count. It would lock it off. Well, so you can see what that looks like. Now, what I do when I'm planning and booking my stays is once it's actually booked in the Thousand Trails system, I will lock it. So then that also tells me when I log in, okay, this one is all set and ready to go. But since it's not, I'm going to go ahead and unlock it. And we'll just keep going through. We'll add in 14 days here. Indian Lakes RV. The next one is Wilmington RV. in Ohio. Add it in, give it 14. Now we are going to swing by the Grand Design Factory when we're up here, and that is in Elkhart, Indiana. Now, what's cool is you can just add places of interest. So I'll do this if I know, okay, I do want to go to this area and it's a custom stop over here. And again, this just helps me plan looking for the different things. After that, we're going to head up to Bear Cave. Now, if you look, there are different icons here. Now, I had researched this and it did come up as a positive, but right here, that is sewer. And also this is big rig. So I don't know that I would want to stay at this campground because we like our full hookups and we're a relatively big rig. So I think I'll still go ahead and add it in and maybe we'll just stay there not for too long, but we'll just go ahead and add that in. All right, let's go back through these and add in my 1,000 trails. Okay. I'm just going to give myself a note in here about no sewer. That'll be a reminder to me to go back and take a look. Now, maybe what I'll do is I'll just find another place to stay in Michigan. We'll see. All right, and the next one that I had saved was Pine Country RV. And I think we'll stay there for a little while. All right, so now if you look, I'll scroll it on out. And I have just routed the beginning of our part of our 2023 trip. Now, I'm going to go in, I'm going to edit this, and I'm going to give it the start date. Let's look at April 2nd. Now, we like to move on Sundays. Different people have different preferences, but Sundays are the best for us so that we can get some work done. Now, this will then that'll change all of my dates here. So if you look, we're in Alabama for half of April, and then up to Kentucky for April. That's maybe a little earlier than I would like, getting that far north. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to change the date here to the 16th. So middle of April, we left the South way too early last year. So we don't want to make that mistake again. All right, so let's look at this. All right, now we're in May up here. Those are some better times. All right, and I did not give myself long here. Again, we're not sure. I'm not sure if that will continue. Now, what I would do next is I would do some research on the trails collections and I would add those in. And then for any of the states that aren't 1,000 trails, that don't have 1,000 trails campgrounds, I would add in some harvest hosts. And that is how I use RV Life Trip Wizard to plan my trips. And once I have these dates kind of set in stone, I use my task management software, Asana, to set my booking alarms. So since it's 1,000 trails and my membership is 120 days of a booking window, I would just Google what is 120 days before April 30th, 2023, and then set a reminder the day before to book this campground so that we can be sure that we have all of our bookings. So do yourself a favor, make your life easier, and sign up for RV Life Pro. There is a link in the description that will give you a 7-day free trial. We are affiliates for RV Life Pro, and if you do sign up, we will get a little bit back, but we only ever promote things that we have used ourselves and that we would want others to use. I have used RV Life Pro exclusively in the RV Life Trip Wizard for planning all of our trips for the 2 years that we've been on the road. By using our link, you help support us and our channel so we can create more content like this. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below.